Hey, it's Nikki Ray here from Playing the Blank Card, and today I'm going to tell you a story. I've already talked about this story in a post I did on my blog, Playing the Blank Card, but I've decided that I will do a short video to tell kind of the short end of the story just for people that haven't seen the blog. This story takes place like years ago when shortly after I became totally blind. And during that time, I was extremely paranoid about everything. I didn't like being home alone at night, even, because I just had a little girl at that time. She wasn't very little. She was like 2. And I just was very anxious. I had lots of anxiety. And I was constantly afraid of burglars and the boogeyman and Lord knows what else, monsters under the bed, all that. And so this one night, I was sitting watching a movie with my daughter, and I get a knock at the door. So I go to the door, and who is it? And nothing. No noise. Hear absolutely nothing except for the sound of leaves rustling through the little corridor outside of the, front door of my apartment. And I should probably tell you that, if somebody comes to my door nowadays and I say, who is it? And they don't answer, I usually am just like, okay, tell me who you are. I'm walking away. If I don't hear nothing, I walk away. I don't answer the door. I still don't. And back then, it used to really trip me out, though, and so I'd stand there forever just trying to listen. Oh, gosh, is somebody going to use a pick to get through the door? What's going to happen? And so this particular time, I said, who is it? And like I said, nothing. So just as I'm, starting to be like, oh, no, there's another knock at the door. This time it was a little bit more persistent, kind of loud, and a little bit longer. And I said, who is it? And nothing. Still nothing but leaves rustling in the corridor. So I said, look, if you want me to open the door for you, then you have to tell me who you are, or you're not getting in. That's as simple as that. Nothing. So I'm starting to kind of panic. And, back then I used to carry the phone with me everywhere I went, just in case, that infamous time when you have to call 911. I've got to be prepared, And so I got the phone in my hand, and I've got it on the talk button. And I'm getting ready to push it on so I could call the cops, because I'm like, clearly this person isn't going to go away. And they knock again. And I was like, so I jump out of my skin because I'm like, geez, really? So I'm again, who is it? Look, you're really starting to tick me off. Either you tell me who you are or I'm calling the cops. Still nothing. The only sound now that I can hear is the sound of, those cars with a really loud bass that just seem to just vibrate through your stomach whether you're in the car or not. Well, I hear that. I hear it shut off. I hear a car door close. So I'm like, finally, somebody is going to come to my rescue here, since the rest of my neighbors clearly do not care about my welfare because they hear all of this going on, this pounding at my door, me yelling out the door, and nothing. Nobody stops to take a look, Way to be a good Samaritan, right? So I hear footsteps in the corridor. Clearly it's somebody that's coming into my section of the building. So I'm pretty excited. I'm like, okay, finally, maybe we'll figure this out. And this boogeyman's gonna be captured, And then I start to hear muffled voices. So my mind at that time was instant pessimist mode. Oh my God, this must be the accomplice to this boogeyman. They're going to break down my door. It's going to be a huge tragedy. I'm going to be on the news tomorrow, and my parents are going to be so sad. So I can't hear what they're saying. I just hear, I can tell, though, that it's male voices, and it's just completely muffled, no words. And so I said, please get away from my door. I'm going to call the cops. And so I hear what sounded kind of like a laugh, and then a knock at the door again. And I said, who the hell is it? Sorry about my language, but it's what I said. And I hear this really soft voice, and he's like, this is your neighbor from upstairs, and, I'm really sorry about the miscommunication here, could you please open your door? And I, of course, don't believe him, because, of course, any boogeyman is going to try to sound nice when trying to get you to open the door. If you've watched any scary movies, and the stupid girls that die are the ones that open the door. So I'm freaking out and paranoid. And so this kind of goes on a little bit more. And my next door neighbor finally hears what's going on and opens the door. And I hear noises again. I'm like, all right. And, because I must also tell you that she didn't actually she heard it, but I kind of called her. And, I kind of whispered, I was like, hey, you gotta come see what's going on. These people are trying to kill me. I don't know. It's danger, strangers. And so she comes out. I hear muffled voices again. She's kind of loud, so I really hear her voice. And the next thing I know, they're all laughing, like this eruption of laughter. It's just so hilarious. So she's like, "Come on out, Nick. It's all right. You can come out. It's okay." So I open the door, and I'm standing there. Of course, I can't see anybody. So, and they're all still kind of laughing and blah. So the one guy, the nice voice guy, tells me, like, "Hi, my name is so and so, and I'm your neighbor from upstairs, and this is my boyfriend, Antonio." And he tries to shake my hand, and I shake his hand, and then he tells me, when he introduces Antonio, he grabs my hand too, and he says hi, but it doesn't really sound like hi. It's kind of more. It was just like a noise. I don't really know how to explain it, but so at the time I didn't really. Now after the fact, I of course understand why he sounded this way, but I didn't at the time. It just made me even more confused. And that is when they decide to clue me in on the joke that I'm apparently the butt of. And the moral of this story is that a deaf person on one side of the door and a blind person on the other side of the door is not a very functional situation. Antonio happened to be deaf, and he is the type of deaf where he is completely deaf, and he does not know how to talk. Some deaf people can, but he was not one of them. So here I am on one side of the door yelling, "Who is it? Oh my God, I'm going to call the cops, stranger danger." And he's on the other side getting frustrated because he's just one neighbor to another trying to go and borrow something. And he knows I'm home because he's seen me, in the window or whatever the case may be. And I'm not answering the door. So he's getting really frustrated thinking I'm being rude. I'm frustrated because I think either this person's really rude playing a practical joke, or more likely that they were going to kill me. And it was just absolutely ridiculous. Needless to say, I can take a joke, and so I laughed it off. It wasn't a big deal. It scared the holy heck out of me at the time, but I lived through it and survived, so I'm here to tell you about it. And afterwards, him and I actually became pretty good friends and have some pretty funny experiences even after that I'll probably talk about in future posts on the blog and also in these videos, and would love for you to continue to check them out. So hopefully you will subscribe to this channel, and so you can be updated of future videos, and hopefully you will go check out the blog Playing the Blind Card and read the written version of this story as well as some others. You can find them under the title Did That Really Just Happen? And there's 3 stories that are kind of, really, did that just happen? kind of stories that I hope you will check out. And I hope on the blog you will sign up to be a follower as well. You can check out the Facebook page and like it, hopefully, and leave your comments on the blog. You can find this blog, Playing the Blind Card, at www.playingtheblindcard.blogspot.com. I hope you visit, and I hope you like this story.